Okay. Up next, we have a team from CCNY. They're interacting with reselling streetwear fashion as it's a booming industry. I'd like to invite up to the stage Denny from Dype.
Who here has ever bought something online from someone they didn't know? Yes, and most of you. And did you trust the seller right off the bat? Of course not. Take, for example, Cardi. He's actually a team member of ours and just so happens to be a customer, which makes him the perfect example. Cardi has been wanting to get his hands on the off-white Air Jordan 1s. He sees it being sold on eBay for 19 times the retail price, which was originally $190, which has then skyrocketed to $3,600. However, the only problem Cardi has is, why should he trust the guy with the username Heat for Feet? He doesn't know whether the shoe is authentic or not, or whether he'll be caught in a scam again. Now, Cardi still wants to buy the shoes, but he 100% wants to know that the shoe he's buying is not a counterfeit, and the person he's buying from is trustworthy. So how's this being solved today? Currently, there are third parties that bridge that trust between buyers and sellers by regulating the resale market. These third parties are responsible for facilitating the entire transaction and physically verifying the authenticity of every single item. Let's go back to Cardi for a second. The streetwear resale market is a $25 billion industry in the US, and it is growing 24 times quicker than retail itself. And as streetwear continues to grow and expand internationally, this current solution becomes increasingly inefficient. Now, separate from these third parties exist communities and forums on Facebook, on Reddit, and on Nike Talk that have their own form of verification using images. People simply post their items on these forums, and people of the community comment and verify these images. And they're doing all of this for free right now, just based on their own good of heart. Right, let's go back to Cardi for a second. He actually lives in New York, and so does Heat for Feet. That would mean, and GOAT, one of these third parties, are based all the way in California. That would mean Heat for Feet would need to ship his shoe all the way to California, get it inspected, and once verified, GOAT will ship it all the way back to New York, to Cardi. However, this entire process is extremely expensive and lengthy. It takes around 2 to 3 weeks on average to even receive your item. And these third parties on average take 12% transaction fees, which is estimated to cost around $3 billion annually that goes towards infrastructures and employees. This is where Dype steps in. We take the best of both worlds by creating a peer-to-peer marketplace for streetwear using image verification. Dype, we will be building a smart contract that will imitate an escrow service. The escrow service will be automated so that both buyers and sellers would have a checklist of things that must be completed for the transaction to be completed. Some examples would be the buyer's payment to show that he has enough funds to pay for the item, the tracking number to show that the seller actually shipped the item, the delivery signature to show that the buyer received the item, and the buyer's approval. And these are just some examples that would be on the smart contract. Now, every listing on Dype would follow a standardized format from specific angles for specific items. Take, for example, the off-white Air Jordan 1. There are images from the sides, both sides of the shoe, the bottom of the shoe, the front of the shoe, the back of the shoe, that would clearly show key factors such as logos, stitching, and many more. Small details like this may seem irrelevant to the normal eye, but to an expert, these are the go-to indicators that would determine whether a shoe or an item is a counterfeit or not. For example, the air underneath the shoe. In a fake one, you might not be able to see it clearly, but it's actually a bit more darker and it has more of a shine to it. Another example would be the eye on the top right of the image. The eye in Nike is actually being intersected by the stitching, while in the fake one, it's actually right beneath the stitching. So really small details like this are extremely important. Dype will be crowdsourcing counterfeit experts. These experts will verify the authenticity of every single item using high-quality images like the ones you just saw. And the amazing thing about all this is that these verifiers will be getting paid for something they're already doing for free. Rather than putting your trust on the judgment of one third party, Dype allows you to get multiple opinions from multiple experts. You also know who verified your item, how many there were, and the reputation, which will lead to a more safe, transparent, and efficient marketplace. How will the network actually run, though? First, the seller creates the listing. If a buyer is interested, he simply purchases it, and his item gets locked into escrow. Once that happens, the listing will go into our verification system, where it will undergo a ballot of verifiers. Once they approve of the item, the seller would then be able to ship his item to the buyer. After the buyer's approval, the funds will be released. 95% to the seller, 4% distributed amongst the verifiers, and 1% for Dype. Why would people join our network in the first place? We have three parties on our network: the buyers, the verifiers, and the sellers. For one, for buyers, it allows for a more transparent marketplace. It allows them to know what goes on behind their item before they purchase it. It allows for them to get more opinions rather than one. It also allows them to get a quicker delivery. For verifiers, which haven't existed before this, we are going to be paying them, so they would have an incentive to do what they already do for fun. They would also be able to build a reputation, which is extremely important in the streetwear community. Sellers would benefit from low fees, and they would receive the payments a lot quicker. We believe that the nature of a secondary marketplace is ones where third parties don't exist. At Dype, our mission is to create a self-reliant marketplace where the community regulates itself for streetwear. We created a manual prototype that simulated the experience of what the verification process would actually feel like. And we got 50 customer interviews from one of the biggest US SneakerCon convention in Boston. 79% of them said they would actually verify these items for money. And that's going from 50 cents to $1 per item. 96% of them said they would actually use the product, either to replace the communities in general, or just to double check whether the item's real or not. Some key things I would like to highlight is that these customers really liked the fact that it was extremely quick, the verification process. They also knew who verified their item, and one of them actually felt a lot more confident in the shoe he bought after using our product. Currently, Dype is the only one utilizing this unique community right now, using their strengths to our advantage, while all the other competitors are simply regulating the resale market by themselves, where they have all control of it. And doing this for us, it allows for us to have a higher verification while also cutting out the cost to almost half the transaction fees. Coming into this accelerator, we came in with nothing but an idea. The idea was extremely fresh, extremely raw, and we talked to a lot of mentors here. Thank you for everyone that came. We talked to a lot of mentors. We bounced ideas off. They really broke it down for us, which really helped us and inspired our manual prototype, which in the beginning, we wanted to build a marketplace right off the bat. But after a lot of feedback, a lot of discussions, we got an advice to actually build the service first to gain trust before you actually build a marketplace for this, which inspired our manual prototype, which we got amazing feedback for, extremely positive feedback, and currently we are working on the prototype right now. And we hope we are going to finish before July. After that, we will look for beta users, our first 100 beta users. And then after that, we're going to be looking for funding. My name is Denny Lang, and I'm the co-founder of Dype. My team and I are from CUNY, and we have been working closely together for 1.5 years when we founded the first blockchain club in our college. I personally have been reselling and flipping products for my entire college career. Kartikeya, to the left of me, he's been reselling and buying streetwear for his entire college career, and he's still doing it. Kevin, to the right of me, he has started his own transportation business for international students. We are all computer science majors, so we have experience in entrepreneurship and a technical background. We are looking for anyone with a connection to anyone in the streetwear market, industry, fashion industry, sneaker industry. We would love to talk to you. Who's hyped to join Dype?
So I guess we only have time for one question. It's a great presentation. Can you describe, when you say creating a self-reliant marketplace,
Right.
can you walk us through that a little bit? What do you mean?
Right. So what I mean when I say we're creating a self-reliant marketplace is essentially we don't have control over anything that goes on in the marketplace we're building. We're simply creating the rules and incentives for the network to actually run. So because we believe that since the community is so strong already, we believe that we can create an entire network based off of that, where we don't have no control over it. That's what I mean when we say that.
Great.
And also, I would like to mention that trust is an extremely big factor within this community, and this niche market is the reason why we're targeting in the first place, where a lot of people actually do not trust these third parties because they don't know what goes on behind them, which is what we're doing. We're trying to distribute that trust to people of the community, which have more of a relationship with the people in the community itself.
Great.
So yeah, that's what I mean.
Great. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Denny from Dype. Great.